Yo, we are back with another Who is Thanos video. Next, we see Thanos with a prominent role in the Silver Surfer. Notice how Thanos goes through these stints in terms of adversaries. Now, the first was Captain Marvel, then it was Adam Warlock, and now it's Silver Surfer. So before we dive into Silver Surfer, let me break down who Silver Surfer is and keep in mind that all of this has taken place in the main universe of Earth 616. There are like Thanos stories outside of this realm, and some of those, seem to take place in a similar sort of universe, similar ideas, and we're going to go through some of those. But for right now, we are still operating within the same exact universe. So let's get into it. Silver Surfer is actually a cosmic entity. As it reads in its first original origin story, Silver Surfer comes from a planet named Zen-La, which is developed into a more perfect society free of war, crime, and illness. Yet knowing Rad, which is the Silver Surfer's real name, felt discontent. So Rad starts to study the history of the planet and actually gets to experience it with their technology. So Rad is troubled due to man's sort of lack of experience. Everything is basically handed to them. They don't have to walk, they can get around on conveyor belts. They don't even have to learn things, as they can have the knowledge put in their brain by this technology. Side note, I'm a libertarian, so I got a kick out of the Silver Surfer saying that their government is a mockery filled with people who just babble a bunch of nonsense, and it's actually like the computers that really rule over the people. Anyway, so an alien ship penetrates the planet's defenses and remind you they are living in this perfect warless society. So these guys have no weapons or anything of that nature, and the citizens don't even know how to fight. And they've been really relying upon those computers. So they deploy their final weapon as advised by their computers to stop the ship, but it fails, and now everybody is tripping out. Everybody has accepted their fate except Noah Rad. He meets with the scientists and they create a ship because Rad wants to fly to the alien craft, and he does and ends up getting sucked into the craft. And who is on the ship? Galactus. Galactus is a massive ancient being whose race is older than the galaxy itself. He is dependent upon energy, and this is why he is invading Zen-La. It's not to just directly kill individuals, but his life depends on the basic energy, and if collecting the energy means the deaths of others, then so be it. So Rad offers to scan the galaxy for Galactus, thus becoming the herald to him if he agrees to spare the planet. Galactus accepts and then turns Rad into the Silver Surfer. He now has a silver shield that protects him from heat, cold, and lack of oxygen. He also gives him a surfboard, which he uses to travel throughout space. And on this quest to find planets with energy for Galactus to consume, this is how he found Earth. Along with the help of Uatu, the Watcher, and the Fantastic Four, they were able to force Galactus into withdrawal, but in punishing the Silver Surfer, he trapped him on Earth with this energy barrier. And that's who the Silver Surfer is. And he is extremely powerful. So let's move on to issue number 35, which takes place after Thanos was turned into granite in part 5 of this series. Thanos does briefly appear in the end of issue number 34 actually, so let me fly through what happened there because it does set the scene here. Now the Silver Surfer is tired and sets out to land on a planet with no sign of life, where he ends up falling asleep. Think of it like a getaway. Randomly a skull appears and he goes to investigate it, a giant skull, and we see Mistress Death's minions inside of it carrying a casket, but they don't seem to be able to see Silver Surfer, and he concludes that he's actually dreaming. Anyway, the minions open the casket in the Hall of Death, and out comes a soul-like figure that looks like Thanos. In conversation out of nowhere, they now act as if they can see the Silver Surfer, and things get really trippy. Silver Surfer is struck, leaves the hall, and we see a random baby getting tossed into a volcano by some woman, and he saves the baby. And then the baby attacks him, and then Silver Surfer seems to wake up from this crazy dream as everything disappears. But out comes a real version of Thanos, and I'm sure the reader is confused as all hell now, so let's get into Silver Surfer issue number 35. So Thanos is seemingly in the real world, obviously no longer dead, and he speaks of some great imbalance. Apparently Galactus hasn't explained the Silver Surfer's entire existence, so Thanos offers to explain everything if he hops in his vehicle. And he does. And he actually struck him with his cosmic bolt, but it doesn't faze him at all. And now the Silver Surfer, you know, he does know who Thanos is after hearing the Avengers talk about him. But this is Thanos, right? And he seems a lot more calm and collected in comparison to what he heard from the Avengers. So he's just going along with it to learn more. And Thanos brings him to Earth and says that the planet is, quote, criminally overpopulated and will eventually lead to its destruction. Obviously, the Silver Surfer doesn't believe this. Thanos then takes Silver Surfer to Solaria, where there are these seemingly harmless creatures. And Thanos explains that in 20 years, they will turn to war and cannibalism as they multiply and their environment can no longer sustain them, taking it from one stream to the other, overabundance to no life at all. And Mistress Death does not like this imbalance, as it doesn't give her a constant and steady harvest of dead souls, that is. So Thanos' solution, again, he serves Lady Death. He loves this woman. His solution is killing 50% of the universe's population. That's sort of his thing. So Silver Surfer's like, well, now I gotta stop you. But Thanos is a bit of a genius and actually played Silver Surfer. As they went from Earth to Solaria, Silver Surfer picked up the germs and the bacteria, and they happen to be deadly to the Solarians. And he attempts to save them, and Thanos is just laughing his butt off at this point because, again, he played him. We also see the cosmic being known as Kronos as he realizes that Thanos is alive again. Quick reminder, Kronos is the father of Alars, who ends up becoming Mentor, who is the father of Thanos. Kronos became this cosmic being in an experiment gone wrong, as he used to be a regular human on the planet of Olympus. So actively, he is the grandfather of Thanos. He also is the guy who created Drax the Destroyer, whose sole purpose was to stop Thanos. In fact, in an epilogue of this issue, we see Kronos bringing Drax back to life because, well, the mission isn't complete and Thanos is still alive. To end this issue, Silver Surfer merges with one of the healthy Solarians, who will then spread the antibodies to the others and at least save half of them. Now, Silver Surfer is somewhat bummed out because he played a role in the death of these creatures, but he has now set out to stop Thanos from killing billions of people across the universe. And that's gonna wrap it up. I'll be pumping out these videos like crazy, man, because I'd like to give you some ideas and predictions for the upcoming movies in 2019. Now, next video, we'll pick back up on Silver Surfer issue number 38. And if you like what you see, of course, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, like it, give it a shout. I don't care. But until next time, man, y'all be easy.